everybody, my name's Amanda and I'm from the Strawberry Moon Homestead, and today I'd really like to talk to everybody about nitrogen fixing plants. So nitrogen is an incredibly important element in the garden, as your trees and your bushes and your plants will use it to put on leaves, they'll use it to bring flowers, and they'll use it to help fruit set. So nitrogen can get depleted really easily from the garden. So it's really important to add in nitrogen using some nitrogen fixing plants. One of my favorites is Clover and Alfalfa, simply because we have rabbits and chickens, so I can easily harvest it and give it to the rabbits and chickens. So what I would do is just strip up a handful, and then all of that nitrogen that's held in the roots of these nitrogen fixing plants will be flushed into the ground. And then if I want to add extra nitrogen, I can just add the foliage here right to the base of my apple tree, and that foliage, which is also filled with nitrogen, will go into the soil right around the apple tree, and that will also help it to grow. So nitrogen fixing plants have adapted to be able to take nitrogen out of the atmosphere and hold it into their roots in little nodules. So that's what helps them to add soil or nitrogen into the soil right around any plant that you really want to help grow up into a nice plant that will give you lots of food. So we like to plant nitrogen fixing plants in and around our fruit trees, our nut trees, and any fruit bushes that we have. We also like to plant annuals that most people know are nitrogen fixers, which are peas and beans. So those will help our annual garden to grow healthy and produce more. I can take you around and show you the other nitrogen fixers that we have here. So another nitrogen fixing plant that I really like to have around is the lupin. They give beautiful flowers, normally in June, late June, and they spread, and they also, you can also get a native variety that puts on some lovely flowers. But I have these normally in and around my apple trees, along with some clover to add some good nitrogen to the apple trees. I mentioned seabuckthorn in my last video. These guys are considered pioneer plants along with the rest of the nitrogen fixers. So these will grow up fairly big, and then once the trees around them grow up bigger, I'll probably trim them down a lot and compost the wood, and the wood will also add more nitrogen to the compost. The seabuckthorn gives really nice berries, and these berries are full of vitamin C. They're used in a lot of different cosmetic products, so I personally will be making some into soap as well as adding them into our frozen berry mix for smoothies. Over here I have a gummy plant that I also mentioned in our last video. It's also a nitrogen fixer. It's like the small cousin to the autumn olive, and it will put off some lovely berries as well that I will also add into smoothies and that sort of thing. It's here to help our nut tree guild. So we've got our amazing American hazelnut bushes here and over there, and this bush will grow taller and add lots of nitrogen into the soil to help these nut bushes grow. These nut bushes will grow up to 30 feet, so once they're up, the nitrogen fixer will die back. So lastly here we have a Widgelia that I'm going to plant back here behind the chicken coop right by my plum trees, and it is going to grow up this arbor here, which is all dead oriental bittersweet. So I'd like to get something beautiful and nitrogen fixing growing up there, and it should grow 10 feet a year and cover that pergola nicely. So some other nitrogen fixers that you might be interested in are the Kentucky coffee tree, the Canadian vetch, and the native lupin, which are all native to this area. We've also got autumn olive, there's the honey locust, and a big list of other ones that I can list down below in the description. So if you liked today's video and you'd like to see more, please remember to subscribe and like my video, and I'll see you again.